This is the Note Closers Show, where you get the latest developments in distressed note investing and learn the secrets of how you can control millions of dollars worth of property for pennies on the dollar. Get educated and entertained by someone who has closed thousands of deals and lives to support you in achieving the same. Now, here's your host, CEO of We Close Notes, Scott Carson.
Going live on Facebook, and if you'll share this with your group today too, would be great. Do you want to be Marketing Monday with Kristie Whites or Kristie Whites? What would you like the title to be?
What did you say?
Marketing Monday with Kristie Whites or Marketing Monday with Serving Social?
Kristie Whites is fine.
Okay. All right, going live. Oh, hang on here. Let me put this in Facebook.
Yay! So I see it says split screen.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
Oh, I better put my phone on silent, huh?
Yeah.
The dog's asleep, so I think we should be fine.
There you go.
All right, cool.
All right. All right. Well, hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 154 of the Note Closer Show. We're so excited to have you today. Extremely excited to have our special guest on here today, who is an amazing friend and an amazing business and entrepreneur. And I am honored to have you this morning, Miss Kristie Whites, our rock star from Serving Social. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited about that. You know, of course, anything. You text me, you say, hey, we want to be here? Sure. Because when it's with Scott, it's fun. It's exciting. You'll learn something.
Well, that's what we try to do. We always try to add value to things. So we're excited for the podcast, everything like that. But for those that don't know you, because we've known each other for a couple of years now, a really good friend. I think we're going at like 3 or 4 years. Yeah, 4 years now, actually. Wow, 4. And the minute we met, it was like, boom, peas and carrots, right? We knew it was like, oh, same mentality, same mindset.
We were in line to get an autograph and a picture from, was it Ginger from Gilligan's Island?
It was Ginger, yes, from Gilligan's Island. That's correct.
Yeah. I was the girl holding like every book imaginable, and you took Mercy to help me.
Actually, it was Mary Ann. It was Mary Ann, not Ginger. It was Mary Ann.
Mary Ann, I'm sorry.
That's right. We were at an event called Secret Knock that our good friend Greg Reed puts on every year, and he always brings out an amazing group of speakers and authors, and we were in line for the book signing, and he brought Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island, and we're sitting there visiting, and basically the line just kind of snakes along there. Here's Kristie trying to hold like 5, 10, 15 books. And I'm like, hang on. I go get you a box, I think if I remember correctly.
You did give me a box.
Put it in here, and we just basically rattled along there. So, okay, we're going to swipe this. When I get a book, you hold it really fast. I'll hold it for you otherwise. But we actually were speaking earlier, like the first night at the happy hour, about marketing. And got to talk and stuff like that. But for those that don't know who you are, tell them who you are, what you do, Kristie, and we'll go from there.
Okay, so right now I am giving the podcast from my RV. I'm a full-time RVer and a full-time entrepreneur on the road. So my business is called Serving Social. We've had it for 4 years, and we help people make marketing simple. It literally is as simple as that. Marketing shouldn't be difficult. It's just some people, they don't know where to start. And you can't read the label when you're inside the bottle, even for ourselves. We have our own marketing consultations, especially with you, Scott. Actually, I sit down scratching my head going, I don't know what to do here. And Scott's like, hey, why don't you do this? Brilliant idea. He's the marketer. But my husband, he's not here. He's on a phone call, but he's my partner in crime and everything. So he helps run kind of the tech side of things while I help run the strategy side of things. So it's rather exciting to take it nomadic and get to meet with people all over the country.
Yeah, and I totally love what your guys are doing with that, because I spent 3.5 years traveling, basically sold everything here in Austin and traveling the United States, going from city to city, working with note investors. And you guys are doing the same thing, but with entrepreneurs and working with cities. I mean, that's so exciting. You guys have been, it took you had like 6 to 8 months of planning beforehand, if I remember correctly, or no?
Selling the house all the way to like us getting the RV, it was about a full year.
About a full year, okay.
And it would be, well, when you have that, we had a big house, we had established ourselves and our family there. So you have that big of a house and that much crap, to be honest. Like, it was a bunch of crap. We had rooms full of stuff that we didn't even visit because we were working our business. It didn't make sense on multiple different levels to keep having it. But, you know, the thing I do miss about it is, you know, my backyard. But as I told you earlier, I'm sitting on an alpaca farm right now. So I have a whole field of wonderful wildlife and animals, and I plan on crawling on top of the RV for the eclipse later. So it's pretty exciting.
That is exciting. And you've been, I mean, now, how long have you guys been traveling now with the traveling entrepreneurs?
So we moved into the RV in January, and we officially started traveling around, I want to say April or May. I can't remember now. It kind of all bleeds together, but we wanted to wait till the weather was nice. We wanted to make sure we planned everything appropriately. We wanted to get used to the fact that we were now in an RV. I will tell you, as a tall person, I ran into things a lot. I've already bumped my head like 3 times this morning. It's just kind of part of it. So you just got to kind of get used to your surroundings and your space. But I think the nerve-wracking part, and I have video of this, which I'll be releasing on our Entrepreneurs Roadshow page, but it's me holding my seatbelt like this. My eyes are so big because it's the first time we were driving the RV, carrying the RV down the road. And you're going 75 miles an hour on the highway, and you have 13,000 pounds behind you. And it's raining. If somebody cuts you off, you're like, please stop, please stop, please stop. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Never cut off an RV, people. Come on.
There you go. Now, you're going out. Let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you're doing. So you're going out, traveling across the country. You were in Nashville a few weeks ago. You're up outside of Dallas now. You'll be working with a great vein. What are some of the things that you're doing on your roadshow?
So some of the things that we noticed when we were working with business owners is that business owners are struggling everywhere, and they're struggling with marketing. It's not something that any one person has necessarily figured out because it keeps evolving. So when we work with entrepreneurs, we like to work with those in smaller rural communities. So although we have been to Nashville and we do work with those in Dallas and in Austin, they have an abundance, and that's part of the problem. There's so much noise everywhere, just like the internet, that they can't figure out which pathway they should go. They don't have a strategy put together, which is what we kind of help them do. So what we do is we partnered with city organizations like public-private partnerships or chambers of commerce to get in front of some business owners and to give them some more resources that they might need. We're also Google partners, so we work with 2 different programs with Google, the Google Get Your Business Online and then the Google Street View program, which is all about being local, getting your business online, claiming your listing. I was surprised to learn when we first started working with Google that only 39% of businesses have actually claimed their listing online.
Wow, it doesn't surprise me.
It's completely underutilized.
Yeah.
So the first step is just to get them online, and then we spent, and you know this, Scott, because I was working with you on it, we spent the last 2 years working on Marketing Made Simple, which is Serving Social's whole mantra. It's make marketing simple. But now we've developed it into a series of courses that we teach to business owners when we come into town of, this is how you create your content, this is how you set up your calendar, this is when you should post, these are the resources that are free to do it. And you can run your whole entire marketing campaign for free or for about $100 a month. So we love working with nonprofits, and as soon as we tell them that, they're like, what? It's possible, you just got to know what to look at, and they don't all the time. So we lead with education and technology and have a little fun while we're doing it on the road. So I'm surprised I haven't gained more weight from all of the food I've been eating.
That's part of the fun. That's part of the souvenirs you carry with you there, Kristie.
My souvenir is my experience and the food. I would say.
Exactly. Now, I've always kind of thought of marketing as having like 100 channels on the radio all on at the same time. And it confuses people. You know what I mean? You can't listen to one specific channel because you've got all this other stuff blasting. So half of the job of an entrepreneur or a business owner is simply to turn channels off, I think, a little bit. Stuff that you're not going to listen to. Like, I'm not going to listen to the Tejano channel here. Even though it's blasting, I got to take and turn that one off. Or I may not listen to the gospel hour. You know, I may turn that one off a little bit. I'll leave the hard rock on and kind of.
I was about to say. I know your station.
Yeah, you know my station, and then I'll fly back and forth with the country and stuff like that, or the great hits. But I think that's what a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with. They see what all this other stuff, all this noise, as you talked about. They have to identify really what are the things they have to identify to help them kind of narrow their focus down, so it's not so overwhelming.
It's really simple. They got to know who they serve. They have to know their audience, because who their audience is, and I mean who they are. I'm not talking about, oh, well, they're females and they're 25 to 30 years old. That's a good start. But really understanding your users is how you need to proceed with your marketing. It'll tell you exactly where you need to be. For example, if you do serve those that are of a certain age, an older age, you wouldn't necessarily want to be on Snapchat. You would want to go towards the older social networks that are more used and more known and they're more comfortable with. So it's almost like shiny object syndrome too. When a new social network comes out and everybody keeps talking about being on it, they think they have to be on it. And the truth is that they don't need to be most of the time. I have a Snapchat, but I just use it to get friends messages. I don't send anything on it.
Yeah, I'm sending my hair.
Instagram. Personally. As my business, it's another story.
Right. So as you're out working with these entrepreneurs, what's probably the three biggest things besides getting their business on Google? What are probably the three biggest things if you say, hey, the nuts and bolts of entrepreneurs, the social media things and things that they need to be doing on a daily or weekly basis? What are those three biggest things?
Well, minus daily or weekly, I would say build out your profile. I like the profiles that are actually take the time to fill in all of the information to really beef it up, to optimize it as much as they can, are those that are going to get more visibility and more trust because you've taken the time to do that. So I would say do that first. But from a daily or weekly, post every day. You can post more than once a day, but only if it comes naturally. Use the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time you're going to be educating and you're going to be basically showcasing and engaging with your audience, and 20% is that sales part of it. Don't lead with sales. Lead with, I'm trying to get to know you. I want to have a conversation with you. What we tell people is think of how you use a social network personally and apply a business voice to it and act like that. You do it really well in your social accounts. Thanks. Where it's always Scott all the time, even when it's we close notes, we know the tone, we know the personality, and we relate to that. And that's what I think the disconnect is with some business owners, and they think that traditional advertising is I give you an ad. Mm-hmm. Here it's I give you a video to take a look at to learn more about something. Like my highest rated video over the past month was the one we did for Shark Week. It had nothing to do with marketing. It was just a shark. And then I would say the underutilization of hashtags and the overutilization of hashtags.
That's a good idea. So let's talk a little about that. That's, first of all, what's a hashtag? So those are like, what's a hashtag?
So official hashtag terms I can send you, but put simply, because that's what we are, a hashtag allows you to group your postings or to include your postings in a group of a specific topic. So if it is social media day, which we did, if it's social media day, then there was a hashtag created for that event. And by using that hashtag in your postings, you included your posting in with ours. So people search by hashtags. I do all the time. It allows us to just be able to find information quicker, but it also allows you to get more exposure.
So like if you're into real estate, hashtag real estate or hashtag notes or hashtag fix and flip. Those are some basic ones to get in those type of conversations for real estate offers.
Or for example, today's the eclipse. So there are hashtags for the eclipse as well. Lots of people taking photos and including stuff in there. And one of the ways that you could have your posting put in there if you wanted one is by using that hashtag.
Right. A great idea would be for like an optometrist to run an Eclipse Day commercial. Don't burn your corneas out. We'll help you. You know.
Exactly. Who's the marketer here?
So, so ideally, because I do see some posts, and I know I've been guilty of it before, of throwing like 20 hashtags after a comment. And Nicole's over here like, yes, she's like got her eyes. Oh my gosh. What would you say ideally for those that are watching and listening to the podcast here on iTunes, and all those joining us live on Facebook Live as well as recording us? What are probably the basic numbers? Should they have 10? Should they have 3? Should they have 1? What's the ideal hashtag use?
So hashtag usage is going to be better in predominantly 2 networks, Instagram and Twitter. Not to say that it's not unused in LinkedIn, but it's traditionally a professional network, so I wouldn't go there yet. People who have used the network for a while, they don't like it. In Facebook, it's actually been proven to give you a negative outlook if you're using even just a little bit of hashtags, depending on your profile. But I would never go over 11. 11 seems to be like that prime number from our testing. I've social media today, Buffer, all of them came out with the same number. It's that nice 11. I don't know why 11, but it's 11.
It's a magical number. So 11. Okay. So guys and gals, if you're watching online, feel free to type in your question. Be sure to ask Kristie about it. And also if you're listening on iTunes, make sure to ask your questions, post, or make sure to email your questions to scott@weclosenotes.com or leave them in the comment section if you're leaving a post. But you are, let's talk about some of those networks. So okay. A lot of people will copy content across the page, across different pages. All right, like their Instagram posts and their Facebook posts and LinkedIn posts all do the same. And I think some of that works if it's professional, right? But some people's personal stuff isn't professional and it's getting posted in networks that really don't make sense. So why don't we do this? Why don't we talk about Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn? It's because those are probably the 3 most popular ones right now. Would you agree to that, Kristie, if you're an entrepreneur?
Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, I would say yes. Twitter is not out, but Twitter's kind of morphed and changed, and so has LinkedIn. They're evolving consistently. So, but it's always going to be Facebook, and Instagram is right behind it. So yeah, you're right.
So let's talk about kind of the demographics of those 3. What do you see as the demographics? So let's start first with LinkedIn.
Okay, so LinkedIn, like I said, it's traditionally a professional network. So you're going to see a lot of C-class, a lot of entrepreneurs, and, well, somewhat, but you won't see a lot of businesses. Like business pages on LinkedIn are they're minute compared to the actual user. So I wouldn't be talking to necessarily We Close Notes. I would be talking to Scott Carson. And when Scott Carson talks to me, I expect it to be something professional, something related to the nature of the network. So each network, if you look at them like a person, for example, they all have their own personalities and their tone of voice and how you would address them. And that's the concept of it. So when it's LinkedIn, I'm professional. It's like I'm in a boardroom. It's starting to kind of bleed in some other stuff because they're wanting to expand the network and test things and see how it goes. But traditionally, it's going to be where you go to do business. It's where you're going to go and find a job, potentially. It's where you're going to go and find research or information on that business that you might want to do business with. We use it as a lead opportunity as well, because lots of the people on here are like, okay, I need this, or I'm looking for this. And because it's a professional network, people are responding to it. They want to see professional related articles and videos. Like some TEDx postings do really well, we've noticed in there, because all of them are entrepreneurs or business owners that are all looking for that inspiration. So when you think LinkedIn, think business.
I totally agree with that. I mean, that's the thing about using job titles. We're looking for, we use LinkedIn a lot, looking for asset managers or secondary marketing professionals, going straight into the job, looking for people with that in their title that we can connect with as well. One thing we've also used it dramatically over the last really 6 months is taking my connections from like 6,000 to almost 11,000 people now, because I know simply typing. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. I think we can do a little bit better than that. There we go. Yes.
There we go.
But the thing to keep in mind is that I started going out and searching literally people that said real estate investor or note investor, because those are the people that I want to connect with that have the most value bang for the buck for us when it comes to either buying and selling assets or finding new note investors to come into our education platform.
Yeah, we search for business owners or C-level managers because those are the ones that make the decisions, and those are the ones we want to talk with. So we send them a nice little message for connection, tell them who they are, who we are. Keep in mind, it's never salesy, but it's also with the intention of, I'm messaging you for this purpose.
Right.
I found that if you just message somebody to talk in LinkedIn, it doesn't work the same way it does in Facebook. You have to message them with a purpose. And if they know what that is, they're more likely to reply back to you.
Right. And by C level, you're talking CEO, COO, something with a C in their title versus like being A, B, or C. You're talking upper echelon, which is a great way to do that too, because we use that aspect to identify potential private investors that are very busy working, that are making decent money and have probably savings or retirement funds, but don't have the time to invest in themselves. So.
And you have to keep in mind, too, with LinkedIn that if they have it on their phone, they're going to get that notification that you have messaged them. So it's actually hitting them on their phone, which is, if you're a CEO, it's in your hand. Mine's right here. So it doesn't necessarily leave because it's how you do business. So. Right.
And LinkedIn is the number one social media website really for CEOs and the high level stuff. They're not spending a lot of time on Instagram or Facebook. They're spending most of their time on LinkedIn and Twitter as well. So
yeah, you'll find them on LinkedIn and Twitter, professional type stuff. Twitter, I find, is more for that news, that relevant news, what's happening right now. It's for those hot topics type of deal. That's why you have the whole trending section on the side. And that's why Google started including some of the tweets that were happening in their news feed, because it was happening much faster than what Google could reflect it. So it's how they get the news now. Whereas a C-level or a CEO or something, they might use LinkedIn professionally. They might use Facebook personally. So when we research somebody, if we want to do business with them, we research them on every network to see where they are and what they're doing. So people, keep in mind, though, they do that when they go to hire you for a job, too.
Yeah, or we do our own, how do we call it, borrower sleuthing on our end here.
Borrower research.
How does that work?
My apologies, yes, of tracking down on LinkedIn to see if they're working somewhere, what they can afford. We use that pretty good on what we do with as far as following a borrower and borrower research. So let's dive into Facebook a little bit. How is it different, and where are you seeing people really goof up on Zuckermeyer's platform?
Everything. So Facebook has this. So Facebook did that transition into ads and went public. And since then, there has been a restriction on business pages in getting views because they want you to run ads. It's in some regards, it can be a pay to play if you don't know how to interact and engage with people. The biggest thing that people forget about it is that it's a social network. You can post all day long, but it doesn't mean they're going to come. Are you talking to people? And when somebody tells me, no, we're not engaging, but we're posting, I'm like, and you want people to talk to you, but you're not talking to them? That's the biggest disconnect. They get content down, but they forget all about engagement. And so
all about starting conversations basically is what you're trying to get at.
It's having conversations. It's liking somebody else's post. It's sharing. It's commenting. It's retweeting. It's hearting. Whichever network you're in, it doesn't matter. Engagement is the key to everything. Now, you can get engagement by paying for it and running the ads, or you can get engagement by actually doing what you would do when you go to a B&I group or a networking group or anything else. You have to go and talk to people to get them to talk to you. It's the same concept here. Go talk to them. So we create rules of engagement. No, it's not the movie, but it is.
You have Samuel L. Jackson dropping the F-bomb a million times at you?
Yeah. Sometimes you feel that way when you're on social, but it's WTF. But it's it's rules of engagement. So it could take you 20 minutes a day, depending on how many social networks you have, but go to the social network and say, rule of 5 here. I'm going to like 5 new pages. I'm going to comment on 5 new posts. I'm going to share 1 or 2 things that are relevant. It's just creating that every single day, you'll see growth. And that's part of our marketing made simple, is we teach people to do that first. Content's great and you need it, but engagement will get you more interaction. I would rather have 400 really engaged followers than 10,000 people that never talk to me.
Right.
That's a quick sign to be able to go look at somebody's page, and if people are talking to them, they're active, they're engaging, they're doing what they need to be doing. If you go to a page that has tons of followers and it has nobody talking to them, you might not want to do anything with them. You got to look at those followers to even see if they're real.
You mean they're not the 18-year-old boy in Afghanistan that's a follower of somebody's page isn't a real person? Or real
he possibly could be. You just have to look at his profile. I did one, this was the biggest, I can't believe she even said this to me. She said, but I let everybody be my friend. That's a quick way to get your page hacked.
Yeah.
Like, well, what do you mean? Well, you give them access to your information by allowing them to be your friend. If you haven't set your privacy settings for your page or for you personally, like, you're opening yourself up to basically anybody coming in and taking it. Additionally, the quality of your group and your friends is just like the quality of your group and your friends individually. You are surrounded by those people that you want to be known for. It's the same thing on your social accounts. It's just life put online.
Right. So that's one of the things we get bombarded. I mean, even you guys, the staff here is talked about, like, who's this guy that liked my page or who's requested me to be a friend? I'm going to keep my personal page separate from my business life. You know, for me, it's a little bit different where you're the face of a brand. We get people that opt in, like, okay, there's a tremendous amount of fake profiles, because I guarantee I don't have 100 women with huge boobs and cleavage shots trying to friend me every day. Like, yeah, I don't know you, nothing in common, right?
You don't even know the creepy guys that I get messaging me sometime. I'm like, who are you? They can message you. It doesn't mean you have to accept their friend request.
Right, or block them and things like that. But that's the thing. Yeah. As you grow your network, your proverbial tribe grows as well with everybody. You know, and so
you got to continue to curate that. It has to be curated.
Right. And seeing what you have in common with people and things like that. You know, friends in common, which is a great kind of identifier if you really are a real person, along with just seeing what they're posting, what they're creating. You know, if they're taking the time to post stuff as well versus just being somebody who's just a fake profile.
Oh, yeah. If you see their profile and they haven't posted anything since 2015, you might not even want to bother.
Right. Do we have any questions out there, Nicole?
We do. So one is kind of super specific, and it's from Stephanie Can. Apparently, their music is getting banned on Facebook, even though that they have the rights. Can you help them out with that, Kristie?
That's a good question.
Through Facebook Live? Is that what she's talking about?
I'm assuming that they're posting videos and they keep getting banned, even though they have the rights to the music.
So Facebook Live, it just released, so it's still one of those things. Why I say just released, yes, it was months and months ago, but it's still something that they're working out the kinks for. One of the things, we even gotten banned, a few of our videos were taken down, and it was just background music that anybody can download, and you have rights to it. You have to appeal the video and prove to them that you have the rights to the music that you are using. It's a bit of a task, but generally once you go through it and you get it all taken care of, as long as you continue to use the videos or the music, that you have, prove that you have the rights to, you should be fine. But it's going to be a bit of a hurdle at the beginning to do it, unfortunately, because this is still evolving and it's relatively new.
Okay.
Yeah, I had that happen to me a couple months back where I was just running like intro music, playing on my phone here in the office before we went started. In the first 10, 15 seconds on Facebook Live, heard that background music. It shut down my Facebook account like that aspect for 24 to 40 hours. I couldn't post anything.
It's done we were a couple times when we've tried to post to like Note Camp, like some of the background music, it'll say that, you know, even though it's like the free download and you have all the rights to it, you just have to appeal for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have another one. Casey Lang asked, is there a program that allows you to post once and able to choose what platform it automatically shares to? I suggested Buffer, but do you have any other suggestions?
There's multiple ones. There's Meet Edgar. There's Social Sprout. We use Hootsuite. I just like the user interface of Hootsuite. It has a nice layout. I've used Buffer before, but I didn't prefer the dashboard that it gave me to manage things, so I switched over. They all have different levels depending on what you're wanting out of it, but if you're simply wanting to post, go with a Buffer or Hootsuite because it's free for up to 3 accounts, and you can't really beat free.
Right. And it's simple scheduling your stuff, because I know Casey has a very busy schedule. I think he's a truck driver. So it's probably not a good idea to be posting while he's driving the big rig.
I would say definitely no. It's a big no-no. I don't know if y'all saw that news story of the girl that was Facebook living while she was driving drunk while she was in a wreck and continued to keep Facebook living.
And her sister ended up dying.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate deal, and that's So I definitely, Casey, don't do this while you're driving.
Any other questions right now? That's it. Wow. Let's talk about it. The best times to be posting. When should people just be posting every hour, or are there specific times throughout the day that they get a better hit off of it, Kristie?
It depends on your business and what you have to offer and who your audience is, because you have to think of the nature of who they are. So I worked with a lot of women's organizations, and I still do. And so you have to think about the everyday entrepreneur woman. We like many different things, so it can be kind of complicated sometimes. But I think about the mom. Let's just take one section of the mom. And this is a scenario I run through my Marketing Made Simple course of, here's a woman. She is 40 years old. She has 3 kids and a full-time job. What time do you think that she gets online?
Never. Late at night?
Probably when she wakes up, naps, and then the end of the day.
Okay, so she has a full-time job. She gets on at lunch because she's checking her phone to make sure everything's good to go. And she gets on at night after the kids have already gone to bed. So we've noticed that for our women's organizations, or if you want to target a specific type of woman with a full-time job and with kids, post at 9 o'clock at night. It's when we found that we got the most engagement. We use the analytics or the insights from our social accounts to help us figure out when exactly somebody is using our accounts, and we use that to make sure that we still provide information to our current users, but also take a look at who it is that we want to target and when we think they'll be online the most, and that's when we post. Now, there are peak points of the day. Of course, I just mentioned one of them, and that was lunch. Lunch hour is generally around the same time for everybody. And so what do? You get out of the office, you check your phone. It's a good opportunity for you to get in front of people. Try the lunch hour.
That's a good one. And at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, too, as people are waiting to leave the office and killing the last few minutes of time, right?
Literally that we scheduled postings. We tested this. We scheduled postings for 4:50, 10 minutes prior to 5 o'clock. It works because they're waiting. They're checking their phones, and then they get a notification that somebody posted, and they'll go and check. It's just how it works. I'm finding that people check Facebook the most because they use it personally the most, and it's one of the oldest. Mm-hmm. So, but Twitter comes through so quickly that you can be lost. So think about the network you're posting to if you want to pick a certain time of day as well.
And that's, they say that a little bit about Twitter, that initially you shouldn't be posting the same thing there throughout the day, the same thing on Twitter. But you just said something very valuable, that, hey, there's a lot of posts that get buried about it. So if you didn't get initial, what's the word I'm looking for? Feedback? Yeah, feedback initially, sometimes posting at a different time during the day, that same post later on can help you kind of identify the most likes and shares, correct?
Yes. Also think about the content that you're posting within each network. Video, you're on Facebook Live right now. Video is dominating every network. Think about it. We're visual people. We want to see something pretty. We are captivated by the visual element of it before we'll even read it. And if you give me too much text, I'm not going to read it at all. Why? Because I'm going too fast and moving through my feed too quickly. I'm going to stop on what catches my eye. So think about that. If you're sometimes just posting content postings, like a question that you're proposing to somebody will work, but could you put it in a visual that might get somebody to look at it more, that might get them to stop? So you see in Facebook right now, you see these little animated GIFs that are coming through with just text. That's all they are. Or because video is so predominant right now and it's like dominating everything, they take a photo and they turn it into a little video clip because it's going to automatically get more interaction and engagement online. My favorite comment back from somebody is, when the heck did photos become videos? It's like, when Facebook and the rest of the social networks decided video was going to dominate. And that is what it is. Right. I would say, though, that the most underutilized network, especially for those businesses that are local, that are brick and mortar, would be Google+. Yep. And Google Local, now keep in mind there's two different pages with Google, and people kind of forget that. One of them is your Google+ brand page, and the other one is if you're a brick and mortar business and you have an address, like your office there, Scott, you have a local page. And that local page is the page that gets searched through Google Maps. That's how you show up locally. People are underutilizing those two pages. And I don't ever expect those pages to give you engagement. But think about this. If you're trying to get seen on Google and you're trying to be found, why wouldn't you automatically give Google some content to relate back to you? So think about it this way. And I know I'm a Google partner, so I'm a little biased here, so forgive me. But I wouldn't say this if I haven't tested it and it wasn't true. And every single time it is. Google Local just opened up posts. Like, you can post directly to your Google Local page. It could be a sale. The more you do it, the more your rankings will start to reflect on that in your local listings. With Google+, everything posted to Google+ is instantly indexed in Google. So think about, you have a card catalog, and this is your name and all the cards behind it. Well, it takes Google a while to go through all of your other social accounts and find your content and index that in your card catalog. You're giving it directly to them with Google+. It's instantly put into your card
one of the great things about Google+, and we ran this in our mastermind group, is we had one of our investors, Lori Davidson out of Georgia, had a blog written 2 years prior. Okay, she created some content but hadn't done much with it. Well, we did a search, and lo and behold, that blog article showed up because she had posted it to Google+. It showed up on her search engines, and she's like, holy cow, I have 1,700 views on this that I completely forgot about. I'm like, yeah, some people are seeing that, engaging. She's like, oh my God, there's like some comments. She's like, wait, that person's a client. I didn't even know they commented. That person's a client. I didn't even know they commented. You know, and so I think that's the biggest thing about Google+. Yes, you don't get a lot of the same conversations you do or interactions like you do on Facebook or things, but you hit the nail right in the head. It's like a card catalog system. It's going to show up, and why not use the largest search engine in the world, in the galaxy?
Right? This is what I'm saying.
As a strength for you.
Also, keep in mind, too, the different types of content you post within Google, the different types of searches you can show up for. So there's your normal organic and local searches, but there's also photos. There's also video searches. We had one client, we just posted a nice graphic for Easter on his Google+ page, and no more than about 72 hours later, he was showing up second line for image searches, his posting.
Right.
For a very good keyword. And so I'm sitting here going, people are missing some stuff.
All right. Now, let's dive in a little bit into Instagram. Now, a lot of people think Instagram's for teenage girls and dirty old men. But anyway, let's talk a little bit more about how Instagram is growing and why it's just not for those two categories anymore.
Well, Instagram is owned by Facebook now. I mean, they bought it out. So that's why you have this integration between them. So you also have to think that the networks are going to be very similar because of that, and that's why you can share between them very easily. Instagram has kind of expanded its reach. Now, if you are a teenage girl and you're selling clothing or makeup or whatever it may be, it's going to be your network that you want to target them on, because it's still the dominant demographic that is on it, but it's growing. It's expanding. Just look at your page, Scott. You post often. And the same types of postings you post on Facebook, you can post on Instagram. The difference is the hashtags and the emoticons. That's what's going to get you seen. It's a really great visual image or a nice little video clip, and you can do live on Instagram too now. But it's the hashtags and emoticons at the bottom. Now, by emoticons, I mean it could be the happy face or the little poopy sign or whatever it may be. It's just using the emoticons to have your conversation. So it's the Justin Timberlake hashtag Instagram type deal that is all the rage. I would keep in mind that there are very underutilized things in Instagram as well. A lot of people, they don't Instagram stories. They haven't really, they're great. You could tell a whole story of your entire day and post a whole series. And for your quest event that you just had this past weekend, be a great story to line out of just the visual storytelling, like a book of your event. And I think that's what people aren't using the most. I love it because I can post one photo and put some hashtags and stuff with it and gain a new audience that I didn't have before. Hashtag foodie. I told you I was eating a lot on my RV trip. Yeah. So you see us posting a lot of food photos that make you a little hungry. Right. But it's the engagement of the network that you really are looking for.
It's very visual and stuff with the Instagram. And that's, I think, what people don't realize is you've got an amazing camera, probably the best camera you're ever going to own most of the time with your smartphone, taking photos. If you like something, take a photo. You know, like we took a photo when we were on our cruise at St. Kitts at the Four Seasons. Well, it got picked. The Four Seasons contacted us to use that photo in their advertising. You know, nice. We had the Caribe Hilton in Puerto Rico do the same thing. I took a picture on the morning we were leaving there to head back to the United States mainland, and they reached out, hey, can we use your photo for advertising? I'm like, are you going to pay me a free stay? They're like, no. I was like, well, okay, go ahead and use it anyway, because it's better to use it and then share it versus take a photo and never use it at all. You know, sharing is caring, I guess, right?
Oh, I remember traffic and conversion. I said, way to go, Scott, for getting highlighted in the Digital Marketer blog. And you're like, what? And they had taken your Instagram mind-blown graphic and put that as a highlight. So
yeah, Nicole did a good job with that. She did that on the fly there too, didn't you, Nicole?
I did.
And so we tags and bam, now it's in front of 100,000 people. I ended up picking up, I think, another 60, 70 followers just from that post alone.
Oh, yeah. And social media day, we did our Instagram and our Facebook lives, shooting that out, reaching over 40,000 people organically. We put no ad dollar behind it. We just collected our partners, put in our right hashtags, and started the video.
Right.
And that was pretty excited to be able to capture that, even from as a massive city as we were in, which is Austin. So
now, do you see that a lot of people are still just running off their base Instagram account and they haven't converted their Instagram account to a business page? Do you think there's a lot of help with that gives them more numbers or better tools to use to kind of market themselves?
Yes and no. So it's kind of the same concept as Facebook, where you have your personal profile and you have your business profile. It depends on how you use the profiles that are going to get you the most exposure or not. When we converted over into because you didn't have it, we were just serving social as a person. And then when they allowed business pages, we converted over and noticed that we could actually start searching other businesses and we can have a more in-depth conversation with people. And that was the thing to do. What people do not like, and what I've noticed, and what the social networks do not like, because they feel that it's untrue and that it's kind of shady is for you to be a personal account playing yourself off as a business. It's the one thing that I dislike. And I report the pages that try to message me as you can tell that they're personal pages by the way that they're set up.
Right.
So keep that in mind when if you're a business still running as a personal page, you will want to convert, because eventually they'll start, just like Facebook, penalizing you and restricting people from viewing you if you don't. So yes, it does give you some more tools and availability, but it also prevents you from getting, I guess, screwed in the long run.
Right. I love the fact that I can click on here and I can see what's the biggest likes or the biggest most impressions or what's caused the biggest most traffic, and then also showing on a daily basis when I get the most influxes, which falls in the same time frames we talked about before. 11 to 1, 4 to 6, 9 o'clock at night, 9 and 10 o'clock at night often surprises me quite a bit. With people are often in on Instagram and following it. And we've got a really good friend who is talking about, my Instagram account's gone viral. Let me pull him up here. I'm not going to say his name because he's respected, but he's like, oh, we can make you go get famous. And I was talking to his marketer guy. They're trying to sell me on the idea of using them. And I'm like, I don't know. And I said, well, all your followers, when you're viral, are these actual clients you're seeing, or are they just people that are opted in and liking? Are they local or are they all across the world? He goes, oh, they're all across the world. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I want that. So, he's right. He's upped his game from 1,000 followers to now 33,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 33,000 followers. He's got 376 posts total. All right. That's great, but all his stuff is fluff. He's not really getting engagement. But I would say that there's still only 1,000 of his followers are really true people, potential business contacts, people to do business with. And that's what you said earlier on. Hey, I would rather have 500 genuine people that do follow me, that we interact with, versus 33,000 people that don't do anything.
Yeah, it's a vanity number is what it is. It's, oh yeah, I got 33,000 people that follow me, but if you have nobody engaging with you and they're not your actual customer, what service is that doing to you? At the same time, you made a good point, Scott, in your account, is that, well, you could get people from all over the world, but do you want to? Is that really going to be the audience that you're serving? Like for you, for example, it's the United States. Like for me, I don't want to tackle international marketing. I'd prefer not to. That's a whole nother type of marketing company. It's a full team of deal. I like working with the small business owners in the rural communities in America because I know their type of business. Marketing for other types of countries is different. So though I welcome other countries, I get a lot of followers from Australia because I have actual genuine Australian friends.
Right.
And I've done some business in Australia. So it's kind of fun to see how your account kind of grows in those other countries, but is it really serving you in the long run if you're trying to do business through the account?
Right.
Is the ask.
Now let's talk about a little bit about advertising. We talked about, you mentioned earlier, it's great to advertise and do this stuff. Do you have to have a $10,000 advertising for these things to really make it work?
It depends on the social network, but Facebook recommends that you have $350 minimum a month to really make an impact. For example, LinkedIn advertising, the larger number of an audience, meaning if you try to drill down and get too specific, you'll miss the mark every time and spend your money fairly quickly. The bigger audience range that you can get and the longer you can run it, the better you're going to be. Now, different networks have different types of advertising opportunities. We tend to go more towards the organic route and only use advertising when it's going to serve us the best. What we've noticed when we do an event, when we have a video that we really want to get out there, we boost that or we run an advertisement with that. We're testing out some video ads through Facebook and LinkedIn right now. Facebook and Instagram right now to see how they convert, and to see how we can leverage those with other businesses. But it really comes down to, do you have a piece of content that needs to be advertised, or are you just trying to gain more followers? So I found that if I have an event, it's worth it. If I have a promotion, for example, Scott, didn't you just have a book that came out, right?
Yeah.
Where's that?
My book, it came out a while back. Yeah.
Yeah, pushing the book and boosting that and doing some advertising could help you because you're trying to get more people to that page and convert them. But other than that, if you're just trying to see what happens and you're boosting postings that really don't need to be boosting, that doesn't have a conversion back behind it, I wouldn't waste your money.
Right. So for those out there that are watching right now, so basically for $12 a day for 30 days to get to that $350, $360 point, that's not bad. That's a cup of basically 2 Starbucks, 4 Red Bulls.
The fact that you know that 4 Red Bulls concerns me.
that would totally concern me too. They would be really focused, really all over the place. But that's a great way and very inexpensive to be posting something, whether it's a deal that you're working on, you're looking for investors, or an event that you're going to or hosting, whether it's a meetup group or a networking event or just something that you're going to anyway, maybe as an affiliate. Hey, I'm going here. Anybody want to join me there? Because there's a lot of people that will offer up affiliates marketing as well, where, hey, if you're selling tickets to something, we'll give you half off, or half the ticket revenue.
Oh, yeah. It's great for those
$50 that's pretty cheap. Like the one event we're doing, I would be glad to give somebody 50% of a sign up for our workshop that's coming up next weekend. Cost for 30 days of marketing, that's pretty relatively cheap, right?
Yeah, you should definitely do that. They would love it.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing, we spent $20 or $30. I had an event. It got planned last minute. It was for a nonprofit. They had a room for 200 women, and they were trying to figure out how to fill it. And of course, you start reaching out to your people to start spreading the word and sharing as much as you can. But then we boosted our event and we targeted highly to our user because we understand the type of woman that we wanted there. And for $20, we got 200 women in that room. Now, there was other things, there was other outreach, but we could measure from our Eventbrite to our Facebook the clicks that we got that converted from Facebook that registered to our Eventbrite. And using those integrations like Eventbrite, if you're going to do an event, it allows you to have some of those analytics that really give you that opportunity to see, was it really worth that money I put into the Facebook advertising? Or was this actually just my grassroots effort that I got all these people to share and that got me what I needed? And the truth is that about 65% of the people that purchased tickets for that event converted through Facebook. So I was like, yeah, $20.
$20 130 people.
Our average ticket sale, I believe, was $130 something. So for $20, 200 women at $135 a ticket.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Well, you just said 65% converted through your Facebook and Eventbrite. So that's at least 130 people, 30 women showed up because of that. So you got 130 times 130. What's that come out to? 16 grand, something like that?
Yeah. Nonprofits, of course, when they host an event, you always got to cover your costs. But there was that event, we actually came out with making some money and being able to put that back into the community. So it ended up being a great value for them.
Yeah. So basically, for every dollar you spent on Facebook, it equated to $845 made.
I love how you have your calculator out and you're putting all the numbers down.
Oh, yeah, I'm a numbers guy, definitely. That's
the
whole point.
Guy.
So obviously, when we're coming up, we have about 10 minutes left here. All this is great, and then get to opt into something. One of the things a lot of people still avoid is the email marketing aspect of that. And I think it's ultimately got to be it's got to be like the spinal cord of your marketing thing. Getting people to opt in and connect with you so that you can communicate with them on a daily, weekly basis, with content as well direct to them, but also videos. And then, of course, the jab, as we like to say, or the right hook after the jab content, right hook sales, right? Let's talk about...
There's more.
Right, there's more, exactly.
So for email marketing, I kind of... How do I put this appropriately?
Say
it. Just say it. I feel like it is some people will say it's outdated and that email marketing is dead, and it's quite the opposite. If you want to do business with people that are doing business, you need to be in email, and you need to have that conversion. If you're in social networks, that's great. You're talking to people, you're getting visibility, you're getting brand. You could potentially get sales with them depending on your budget and what you're really doing, but you want them to come back to something. You want to drive them into something else, whether it be signing up for your email list where you can continue to market them on, like you said, on a weekly or daily basis, or going to your website and getting them to take action there for something. But email marketing, I'll tell you, the biggest list that we have, or the biggest group of followers we have, is through email, because we started just sending out emails once a week. We did this whole 7 days of 7 announcements deal when we started actually moving into the RV and traveling. Everybody was like, what the heck's going on? So it's like, you know what, I'll just tell them. So I started this email campaign through MailChimp and connected it to my social accounts. So every time I posted and sent out an email through MailChimp, it went directly to my social accounts. They got to read my story, and then they opted in so they could get the next one. It's a great tool, especially when you can't always talk about the same thing or the things that you've already reiterated in social. You can hit them through email. The more, it's 12 times, right? 12 times in sales, 8 to 12 times you have to hit someone before they'll convert most of the time. So if you're hitting them in every social account that is relevant for you, plus email, plus they're getting messages on their phone of what you're doing, you're maximizing your opportunity to be able to get them to convert, depending on what it is you're trying to get them to do. But I love email. I use MailChimp personally. I know others that use Constant Contact. There's tons of other different ones that you can use. MailPoet, I think, is one of them. But my analytics, we have a 20% open rate, which is like unheard of. I'm just like, what? That's exciting. Paying attention to that's important.
Yep.
Because you want to be able to know, on average, if you have 3,000 followers, you want to know the percentage of those that are opening, and you want to pay attention to those that are always opening, and make sure to communicate with them individually to let them know, like, hey, thank you so much for continuing. They're your brand evangelists, the ones that are always paying attention to what you're doing. If you have somebody who's opening like an email 12 times, was my email not clear? Did I put the messaging in there right? Like, there's lots of different ways to dissect and to know whether or not you're really being effective.
Well,
and use your email really well. I get your email every week.
I mean, we focus on emails. One of our main spinal cord aspects of our marketing is literally, hey, we've got to get something on at least once a week, if not more than once. Especially with us, kind of driving people to, like tonight, Monday night, we have the Note Night in America. So driving people to opt into that webinar, or if they're not going to be there to watch it live, catch the replay the day or two afterwards, or the different events we have coming up, or we're moving assets this week or next week. Hey, getting you to opt in so that you're there to take advantage of what the opportunities we have for you to buy or invest and things like that. So it's choosing not to do that, I think, is choosing not to succeed. Oh
yeah, it would be like saying, okay, my main customer's on Facebook, but I'm not going to use Facebook. I don't need it. That would be the same concept. Like, people are used to email. Even in smaller communities, they understand email. It's been around for a really long time. So it's the best opportunity for you to talk to people. And if somebody has actually taken the time to subscribe, then it's worth it, because it's not the same thing. A subscribe to your email is not the same thing as a like to your Facebook page. A like to your Facebook page is very small. A subscribe to your email list is important. So in our roadshow, and we're, us marketing and going around, we have people that are interested in kind of sponsoring us and going along for the ride. And the first thing they ask us is, how big is your email list and what's your open rate? It's like, oh, well, that's my best one, let me tell
you. Right, exactly. So let's talk about that. How can people get a hold of you? What's your email address, website? How can people follow along on this great journey that you and Elijah are on all across the country?
So you can go to surfingsocial.com, and we're going to be dropping Entrepreneurs Roadshow in the next week. We have our landing pages coming out with all of our videos from our travels these last 4 months, so we're pretty excited. We're putting in Irving, Taylor, Nashville, Chattanooga. Chattanooga was really exciting because we met with the mayor, of course, and learned some really cool things about Chattanooga, which, one, did you know that they have the fastest internet in the country?
No, I did not know that.
They do. The entire city is wired with fiber internet. Everybody gets internet.
Wow. We got a question here for you real fast.
Okay.
Scott Hartwell asked, he says, great info. Does she offer a value bundled package for someone that is new and limited on time?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
So you have some services? Okay, you do. Okay, good. Awesome. Tell us about it.
I do. Okay. So what we've done is those that are looking for just the basic, hey, I want 3 social accounts, I want to run those. Really, we kind of sit down and we do a little mini strategy with you to decide where you should be. And from there, that's what we implement. We don't put it into a box and tell you can only have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It doesn't work that way. So from there, we have 3 social accounts that you can pick from based off of your strategy, plus a monthly newsletter through email marketing that we run through your social accounts as well. And then you have us continually being able to assist you and help you along the way. So that little package we have bundled and put aside. That's a monthly package where we create your strategy, engage with your users, create your content. That includes graphics. That includes, we actually have a blog writer, a new copywriting team that signed on board with us. So we've opened that up to include into blogs as well. And that averages about $1,500 a month, which when I tell people that, some people are like, really? It seems like a lot and depends on where you are in your business. And other people are like, wow, that's a steal, because they've gotten quotes from other people right. and saw really what it takes to run an effective marketing campaign. It's time versus money. And when you're getting a bundle of 3 social accounts plus blogs plus email marketing, it really is like the biggest bang for your buck, because that's going to get your brand on the main accounts and the main place that you need to be and push it out there. And it's month to month. You pick it. It's not a contract base, so we keep it pretty easy, or as we say, simple.
Keep it simple, exactly. One thing I think people have to realize, they've got to give their social media, their email, their stuff time to take hold. It's while we love the instant gratification of somebody liking our posts, it's not always going to happen overnight. You want to talk a little bit about that before we kind of wrap it up, Kristie?
Oh, it's consistency. It's complete consistency. The people that rank on Google don't rank there automatically. They've either paid for it, or they put lots of time into it, or they have put tons of time into it and they're paying for it. There's no perfect science to any of it. But Scott, you didn't get where you were automatically. It took you years to build your audience of your core people, and then it took you years on top of that to put in a good marketing campaign that continued to convert them and continue to reach out to new people. So it's something where you have to understand what your objective and your goal is going to be when you're going in, and have a realistic understanding of what you can get from your budget and your time. And the big thing here is just consistency. Post every single day, engage every single day. If you miss those elements, you're not going to see that gratification of conversion. Even if you only gain 1 or 2 followers a day, those 1 or 2 followers could be worth 20 minutes of your time, or you could have spent $20 to get them. Think about it that way. 20 minutes or $20. It depends on what you want.
Right. Kristie, I know you've got to run here. You've got another appointment here in the next half hour, so you got some stuff to prepare for that. First of all, thank you so much for taking time to be on the No Closer Show podcast. Always great to see you. Always great to hang out. When you got to let us know when we're in town, or I need to coordinate better with our travel schedule so we can end up drinking somewhere.
I missed you in Nashville.
I know. I was out for the count of the heat. But once again, once you share with them your contact information, how they get a hold of you, and we'll go from there.
Cool. So you can find us at servingsocial.com. You can email me at info@servingsocial.com. Any of our social accounts, you can find us, same handle, Serving Social, generally has an LLC after that. But if you want to follow the roadshow, just search Kristie and Elijah for Entrepreneurs Roadshow, and you can hear from business owners' stories. You can learn about some marketing tips, and again, we post some really good food photos. So
definitely. Well, we'll definitely have you on again. down the road on the road show for you there. All right. Thanks so much again. Give Elijah a big hi. Tell him to watch out and make sure he doesn't burn his eye out with that Honey Nuts Cheerios solar eclipse.
I saw that. Oh yeah, I'm really concerned about that.
Well, hey, thanks so much. Have a great day. Drive safe, and we'll see you on the next one. All right.
Thank you. You too.
Well,
Bye.
all right, everybody. Have a great day. Go out and make something happen, and we look forward to seeing you all at the top. Bye.